Do you remember when I interviewed Tammy, one of Boat Bike Tour's top guides, about her favorite tours in Europe? And she said Friesland in northern Netherlands was not only her favorite, but also one with great beauty and history. And best of all, most people have never even heard of it, so it's not over-touristed like so much of the planet these days. And I know I've mentioned to many of you that I probably would never do another organized tour, not because I don't love them. Quite the contrary. I have a blast with you guys. It's that all the admin and logistics it takes to organize these trips suck up so much time when I'd rather be climbing a mountain or doing other fun things. But I just finished next week's episode on our Solo Together group Portuguese Way Camino. And while I was putting the show together, I realized that all that work is worth it. We had such a blast and made lifetime friends, and I can't wait for you to hear the episode next week. So today, I am putting out feelers for a July 2027, no, not 26, not next year, the year after, to do a Friesland, Netherlands boat and bike tour as a group where we take over the whole ship. It's a boutique ship that can hold 24 guests, mostly in twin rooms. I think there's one or two double rooms, but basically, it's two really comfortable beds in a nice private cabin. You have a private bath. It's all very luxe for a ship. It's pretty darn nice. I've gone on two of these already, and I loved them. And this ship is actually nicer than I think the ship I went on. You have a nice, large covered dining area. There's a salon for relaxation. And while you can certainly bring your own bike, they do offer for rent manual and e-bikes for a nominal cost. Well, almost all of your tasty meals are covered. One dinner in town is not, but every morning you have a nice choice of a little breakfast. You pack up your own lunch that we take with you that we use later day when we stop for a picnic. And then dinner, generally speaking, is on the ship. As I've mentioned, I've already done 2 boat and bike trips already. I went to the lesser visited islands in Greece, as well as a split to Dubrovnik in Croatia trip. They were fantastic. The food is delicious. It's abundant. You get away from all the tourists, even if you're in a kind of a touristy area, because you're on a bike, so you're not where the buses and the cruise ships dump off all the passengers. You get away from the beaten path, and you're actually part of the landscape, is how I remember one of my guests describing it. You are part of the locals' days because you interact with them in a very different way than you do on a traditional like group tours. So you're not looking at the locals and the scenery like you're looking inside of a fishbowl. You are in the fishbowl. It's a really cool way to travel. I'm going to have links in the show notes about this particular trip. And remember, even though it listed as a self-guided trip in the links, ours will be guided because I've asked to make sure we can get Tammy with us along with another guide. So those that feel more comfortable with a guide and they like the input and the insights that a guide can bring to a trip, we'll have that opportunity as well. And if you've been listening to me and you're debating whether or not you should ever do an active holiday, this is a perfect one to dip your toes in. A, it's affordable. The price is still being worked out, and since it's so far advanced, but I'm guessing at right now it looks like it should be under €2,000 per person, double occupancy. And like I said, that includes most of, like 95% of your food. It includes your nice cabin. It'll include the guide. It won't include the guide tip though. But you can figure out ahead of time what it's going to cost. It's a very inexpensive way to explore Europe for sure. And it's a super way if, let's say, you and your partner have different abilities. Let's say you're the active one. You're listening to this, so you're probably the active one. Let's say your partner is hard to get off the couch or this is not their cup of tea. This is a great one to test the waters for that, because if he or she does not want to get out and ride that day, just ride with the ship. They don't have to ride it all the entire time. They could just come along for the rides. Sometimes on the BBT tours, that's what happens. And this gives you that flexibility. Also, get him or her an e-bike. That levels the playing field for everybody. Even though in the Netherlands, it's super flat, it's a 1 out of 4 difficulty level because it's flat. It's more for the enjoyment and the leisurely ride than it is like the Bataan Death Bike March kind of a thing. Most days you're only on the bike maybe 4 hours, 5 hours, but you're getting on and off. Stop for have a coffee, maybe go to a museum, start poke around some of the little historic areas. So it's a very leisurely, fun way to explore a different, in this case for me, a different country. I've never been to the Netherlands, and that reminds me of something else too, because I've never been there. I would be flying into Amsterdam. I would probably rent a big Airbnb like we are doing for the Bhutan trip. We're going to meet in Kathmandu in Nepal to head over to Bhutan, a lot of us. And then from there, we're going to go to Bangkok and getting another Airbnb. And prior to our Camino in Portugal, rented a big apartment in Porto where a group of us had a couple of days to explore, get over jet lag, etc. before we start our Camino. So we'd probably, I'm sure, do something like that in the Netherlands as well. Another thing I like about these kinds of trips, because you are active, but you're also resting. You come home from these vacations rested. You don't need another vacation from your vacation because you're exhausted. You feel good, you've eaten well, but you've exercised. You don't really put on the pounds like you can on other trips. And it's just a fun way. And of course, you're going to be with other like-minded people, so you're going to make some lifelong friends. And one seriously big thing that I love about boat bike tours is you only unpack once. Not only does that make your life simpler because your hotel is the ship and it moves with you, think of all the time you save of packing and unpacking and getting to the next destination to see the next site. Here, it's a fun transit because you're on the ship or you're sleeping while it's moving. Either way, you're not wasting your valuable vacation time packing, unpacking, and getting in transit to hop to the next place. So I love that about boat bike tours. The harbor there that we start the tour is an easy train ride from Amsterdam. And like I said, I'll probably be renting an Airbnb, and those that want to meet us there can meet and all go on the same train together. But it's pretty easy. Europe has a great mass transit system, but we would get more details on that as that got closer. But it's easy to get to the port, so it's not a complicated thing regardless. So be sure, if this is something of interest, click the show notes so you'll get more details. If you are interested or want to be just kept in the loop, just email me at kit@activetraveladventures.com and let me know, and I'll make sure that you're kept up to date. If you know for sure you want to go, let me know that as well so I can get a feel. Like I said, this is not set in stone. We don't have the dates. We know it'll be July of 2027, and it'll start on a Friday and end on a Friday, but I haven't selected the exact week yet. That will probably be done, I'd say, in the next couple of months. And if you got feedback on that, let me know that as well. Some other trips that I'm considering, and I'd love your feedback on, is the Kamano Kodo, a long-distance pilgrimage trail in Japan that I've talked about doing for some time. I was going to do it solo, but I wonder if we might want to try one of those solo together things on that. I'm looking at doing the Amalfi Coast on a guided walking trip at the Amalfi Coast. It sounds amazing. I've seen the photos and I've never made it there yet. And as much as I love the Camino, I don't think I'll go into Santiago again, but I have my eye on the Spanish Camino called the Via de la Plata. It starts down in Seville. And so maybe doing a couple of stages of that. And of course, if you want to do a Camino, you could do all 10 stages. I don't know that I have that much time to do a Camino, but we'd do it for maybe 2 weeks. And I imagine starting in Seville, but I'm still kind of working this out. I just wanted to get your feedback on some of this stuff. And then 2 other European destinations that I'd love to do with Active Adventures is one of their Iceland adventures, also their Austrian Alps adventure. I've been to Iceland. It's amazing. I was only there in the winter, so I'd love to explore it when the weather is a little bit more amenable to doing some hiking than I did when it was like blizzard-like. And Austria, it looks so picturesque. Another country I've never been to and would love to see. So if any of these rock your boat, please email me at kit@activetraveladventures.com, or with any suggestions you have of what might make a really fun group adventure. I love traveling with you guys, and I think I can figure out how to make myself love doing the logistics. I have loved all of my adventures with you guys, and I want to keep doing those. I just have to get better at admin so that I find that part enjoyable, but that's on me to worry about, not you. If you'd like to travel with me and travel with the Active Travel Adventures community, hit me up at kit@activetraveladventures.com and let me know your thoughts. So the Netherlands and Friesland, here we come, and I hope you'll join me. Until next time, this is Kit Parks. Adventure on!